and not replace the quality players that you've sold. So my question to you, or what I'd like to put to you, is you're saying that you're going to take a gamble for 3 years. Financially, it's going to be a bit tight to build this stadium. But I'm almost assuming that you're going to go ahead and build the stadium, regardless of what anybody says, you're going to go ahead and do it. So in the interim, while you're building the stadium, you'll have no money. So if Presley's still here then, he'll come up to you and say, oh, we want to buy some players, we haven't got the money because we're skint. So in other words, the team struggles through and we get relegated again. What happens if you have this posh, however many people stadium, owned by Sisu and run by Sisu, and you haven't got a football club? The football team is just rubbish. We're in a non-league situation because you could relegate us year 1 relegation, year 2 possibly relegation again. It's a gamble not only with your company, or for the short period, it's a gamble with our football team you're taking as well. And I'm not happy with that.
Peter, isn't it? Peter? Paul, sorry Paul, excuse me. I don't use the word gamble. What we do, we look on a risk-weighted basis at the decisions that we make. It's level of uncertainty. A gamble for me states clearly that you don't know the outcome. We know the outcomes, and we've actually priced the outcomes.
And the outcome is that you'll still be in the Football League at the end of 3 years?
Absolutely.
Moving up the leagues? Do you contemplate relegation? Have you written that into your plan?
You don't.
All you care about is making money on this stadium. You don't care about the football team.
The gentleman is saying, for those who can't hear at the back, you don't care about the football team.
Clearly we care about the football team. This is a football club, so the football team is... This is about making money in the long term. In the short term, you cannot make money. So, has anybody seen, look, Mandarich came out over the last 48 hours and said, I've been doing £5 million a year at Hillsborough. Now, once he got promoted, their average crowd in League One was what? 21,000. Their average crowd in Championship was far higher, and they're losing £5 million a year, and he's looking to sell. Okay? So
and your point is what, Tim?
My point is that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and what we've got to do now, we have got to restructure in such a way. So Hillsborough is an outdated. It's a behemoth of a stadium which costs so much to upkeep. You can't get enough revenues through it. There's nothing you can do.
Not your club, our club. Put Sheffield Wednesday to one side and put your team to one side. This is our club, not yours. We're not interested in Sheffield Wednesday.
It's an example of a football league club which is losing money hand over fist. And where there is one, there is several more. And everybody in this room knows it is very difficult to run a football league club without ploughing in lots of money.
Okay, gentlemen here, tell us who you are.
Good evening, gentlemen. Sorry, good evening, gentlemen. My name's Boyd, season ticket holder for 10 years. A couple of points I want to make. You two are sitting there saying, we'll go to another Midlands club. You've got no legal entity because you don't hold a share. So you're sitting there saying, we'll take Coventry out of Coventry, but have a minute, you can't. The second point, the administrator could still, I was an administration company starting next season, and he could agree a contract with ACL to keep Coventry at the arena, what you'd have to adhere to. So under them circumstances, what are you going to do?
First of all, your point about my legitimacy is absolutely right. So, in all instances, including the Football League, my legitimacy is not recognised, other than the administrator runs Football Club Limited, and I and Steve are running holdings. In terms of doing a deal, for example, on a ground share, or any deal around players, for example, we are completely stymied, and that's the point, because the Football League will only deal through, under its rules and regulations, the administrator. In terms of doing a deal, for example at ACL, the last 3 league games were organised by the administrator, not us. So Steve picked up the phone to ACL, They didn't return his call. In fact, the lawyers said they wouldn't even speak to him. They wouldn't recognise him. They don't recognise holdings.
They have to read the contract with ACL moving forward. What are you going to do under them circumstances if we're still in administration come the start of next season?
So just say again, so I'm clear.
If CISA are lucky enough to somehow swindle back control of our club, okay, and the administrator has agreed a deal for next season in principle with ACL, what are you going to do? Pull us out of the ground halfway through the season?
No, because I don't think the administrator would do that, because he can't do that.
The administrator is out of his hands. He can't do a deal with anybody other than selling the club to somebody who will then do the deal.
What I meant was it was still in administration.
Still administration. Yeah, well,
Yeah, the administrator though would have to.
he's made it clear we won't be.
The administrator would, in that case, would have to have some players, and then obviously somebody would have to fund the club.
But the administrator's timescale suggests that that won't be the case anyway, from what he said. So tell us who you are.
Hello, I'm Miles. I've been following the Sky Blues for 32 years this year. First game was in the West End, at Highfield Road. I've got a couple of questions for you, Tim. Tonight you're not looking very interested. You look as if like you don't want to be here. My first question is, you're going to take our Sky Blues out of the city for 3 years. At the moment we can't trust you. What can you do to make us trust you to say that you're going to bring us back if we follow you, which I'm not going to follow you, because it was heartbreaking leaving Highfield Road. Rico's become our home. It's a great atmosphere, and you're taking us away. And it is heartbreaking. It's destroying all of us, the fans.
What can you do to restore trust?
So Miles, legally, we will have to come back to the Coventry City area, and we've been given the exact coordinates, if you like, the area within which the new stadium would have to be built, and those were given to us by the Football League. And as I explained the other night, the reason that happened was because, of course, MK Dons. So the owner of, as was Wimbledon, got up, made the club homeless, and ended up actually striking a deal with Milton Keynes and moving the club 65 miles north. The Football League have regretted that ever since, and that is their biggest nightmare. And as a consequence, all the rules stipulate you can leave for a period, but after that period, you must return to the area.
Can I say you're well named, because we're going to be travelling miles to watch this team, aren't we, really? Just a question about the area you talk about in which the League have said you must build a new stadium. You've also told us before that you've been negotiating to purchase land. Is that complete? Do you have a deal on the table for a site? Whether or not you could tell us where it is?
We're very, very close, I imagine, in the next week, and then we've just got the due diligence on the site, and then we're done.
Is it Brandon?
I can't confirm or deny where it is.
We'll come to you in a second, to the lady here first. Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name's Helen. My question to you is your business model. If I'm talking to you, I want you to look at me, not talk to him. I've taken the time to drive 90 miles to get here, so I just want 2 minutes of your time. Your business model back in 2007 was to develop in 3 years with Ray Branson a Premier team or sell. Why haven't you taken the latter before now?
So, with regard to the initial model, I think everybody's accepted that it was a very reasonable model. You come in, you take a team which is in the Championship, you put some money, invest some money into that team, and using sort of the expertise that Mr. Ranson had, and clearly he was a football man, you would then craft a side that got promoted. You would either sell out at that point, make some money, or alternatively, you would then, in effect, milk the Premier League monies. In terms of why would you not sell either as you bump down the stairs, which is what's happened, or today, there is no value at all in selling at these points. The thing to do now is to try and retrieve some value. So I got to say, I don't know what happened in the Championship around Mr. Ranson or the previous board at all. I don't know which players, I do know which players were sold, I don't know what the rationale was, I don't know what the rationale was around bringing players in and which ones were brought in. I'm sure it was eminently sensible.
Well, in those early years, Sisu got it badly wrong, didn't they?
Stuart, I think that is a fact, and certainly Sisu have held a hand up that for the first 4 years of their ownership, they made some pretty wretched decisions.
Why did Joy Sapala allow it to go on for 4 years?
Joy had a management board which ran the private equity side of the business. That management board has subsequently left Sisu.
So they got it wrong, they felt they'd been got rid of.
They left, Stuart.
And you're now here to put it right.
That's my objective.
Okay, gentlemen here, tell us who you are.
Hi, my name's Rob. I was just picking up on a few things you mentioned earlier. Obviously, first of all, you said that Sisu is a company entirely based on, making money. And second, the next few years is going to be a gamble or a risk. How far are you willing to take and mess up this club before you finally leave? Are we going to be into the Portsmouth?
Actually, that's a very good point. There is a danger that this becomes a Portsmouth situation, absolutely, and that's why it's imperative the Football Club Limited is brought out of administration.
People keep on saying, Tim, I've said to you many times, as you know, why won't Joy talk to us? Will she?
Joy is a very, very private person. She makes her resources available for the football club. She's incredibly supportive of the football club, but she is incredibly private, and I think we just have to respect her wishes.
But do you understand that people want to hear her as the figurehead, as the person that sits across this structure, whatever Sisu is? Do you understand that people want to hear her, in her own words, come here and say, first of all, sorry, and then say what she's going to do about it?
I think you're right, Stuart. I fully empathise with that, and I think whilst you've been kind enough to indulge me over the last weeks and months, and certainly for the last few nights, and put up with my ugly mug in front of you, I think there's probably no substitute for Joy Sapala. However, at this moment in time, Joy has made it her wish that she wouldn't want to communicate that.